It's time for a life update. Get ready with me. At least you guys told me it was time. I posted this picture on Instagram and so many of you were like, hey girl, no offense, but what the f? Because the last time that I filmed a life update, Get Ready With Me, I had just moved into my new house. Wait, I have to remember to put in these Lumify eye drops. They are my favorite thing on earth right now. I can't film without them. They make my eyes so bright. Oh my God, should I use this to make it look like I'm crying in the thumbnail? Just kidding. And I remember telling you guys, like, I need to get settled in this new house. The holidays are coming up, so I'm gonna be busy with that. And I have my trichology exam in the next couple months, so I really need to focus on studying. Which is why, at that time, I had completely deleted Hinge and I was not dating at all. And then I think the last time that I had done some sort of video talking about dating was like, maybe in September. It was a long time ago, and that was when I was telling you guys a bunch of funny dating stories, like greasy coconut hair, not coconut hair, coconut oil hair boy. And I was going on a 4th date with somebody that I remember telling you guys, like, I don't know about. And so to those of you who are wondering if the person that I'm dating now is that same guy, no. That was a no, friend vibes only there, which had definitely just been my issue in dating for the past couple years. Like, there just wasn't anybody that I was excited about as more than a friend. So while I am putting on skincare and makeup today, I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys asked me the most over on Instagram, just like life update questions, of course. What the heck is going on with that picture and who that person is. And per usual, all of the products that I'm applying to my face will be in the description box of this video. Why'd I say it like that? In the description box below, in order of mention, there will be a link for every single product in case you're interested in picking anything up that I use. All right, let's do this. A lot of you asked questions about the dogs and just wanted a pup date. So to answer how Quincy and Elsie are doing, they are doing fabulous. They're sleeping behind me right now. We just went on a nice walk. I'll get a picture of them for you guys. Oh, they look so cute. And for those of you that are new to my channel, Elsie is my dog. I got her last January, and Quincy is my sister Emily's dog, and she got him in July, but they are actually only a day apart. Their birthdays are October 12th and 13th, so they're the exact same age, which has just been the best thing ever. My sister and I were saying we can never live more than 10 minutes away from each other now because they're best friends. It's so cute. And they are especially loving life right now because the weather has finally turned here in Minnesota, and oh my God, May is just beautiful in Minnesota, sunny, warm, but not too hot and humid. So they have been romping around my yard, just literally like doing sprints back and forth, chasing each other. They love playing together. So they're doing great. And Quincy did actually have his appointment that I was telling you guys about at the University of Minnesota for like advanced veterinary care because of his incontinence issues, because you guys have seen him rocking a diaper in my videos. And they did a lot of testing on him to rule things out and ultimately decided that they think he has a hormonal issue. So he is taking medication for that now, and it actually seems to be helping a lot. For those that asked if another puppy is in my near future, no. I'm not gonna lie. I had a couple weak moments this winter where I was like, I want another one so bad. I want Elsie to have a sibling. But she basically already has one because her and Quincy are together all the time. And I also reminded myself of how hard it was to have a puppy by myself and just go through all of that completely solo. And that I don't need to do that to myself again when things are finally really amazing and we're out of that super intense puppy phase. So those are the pups. A lot of you also asked how it's been being a homeowner, what the best and worst things about being a homeowner are, and overall I would say that it's been so amazing. I absolutely love my house. I love the neighborhood that I'm in. Like, everything about it just worked out so perfectly, so I feel really lucky for that. I'm super grateful, but it definitely is a lot of work. I would say, let's start with the worst and end with the best. I would say that the worst thing has just been having to manage all of the little things that you need to manage in a home by myself, because I always seem to be insanely busy with work. So then like adding all of those extra things to my plate that I have to remember to do, it just makes me feel a bit hectic. But I think the best thing for me is honestly to just put reminders in my calendar for like, check the salt and turn on the sprinklers. Otherwise, if I don't, I literally will not remember to do anything. But the best part has just been having a space that I absolutely love, that I get to wake up in every day. And now that it's nice out, I love sitting outside on my patio, reading, working, eating. That is my personal favorite part. I've been testing out these CL skin tints that have SPF 50, and the first several times that I wore them, I was having issues with wear. Like, they were just kind of breaking down throughout the day and not holding holding up on my skin. But that was several months ago now, so I'm wanting to try again and like kind of test them out with other products and see if I can get better results. Wait, I forgot to put primer on. That was one of the things I wanted to do. Just let that sit on the back of my hand. Is try a grippy primer first. And I've been testing out the e.l.f. version of Hydro Grip. Ooh, tacky.
You're tacky and I hate you.
Okay, you see me after class.
Speaking of work, I got questions about that, how everything's going, if it sometimes feels unmanageable. And the answer to that is yes, every single day. Not like fully unmanageable to the point of me panicking every day, but there are moments every day where I'm like, how am I gonna get all this done? But I think that that's just the constant reality of owning your own business of any kind. Like, you always have a million things that you could be doing and you're never gonna be done with all of them. I'm sure that you have noticed that the style of my videos has changed a little bit, not drastically, but just some subtle changes to make things feel more fun and entertaining and funnier. And that is all because of my sister. She is now editing for me and basically handling everything on the back end, like creating thumbnails and making links for all my videos. So that has been enormously helpful. And oh my gosh, I'm so lucky to be able to work with her in that way. But I will also say, wait a minute. I forgot that I wanted to try this lip mask. This is from Make. They sent me a little lip mask package in PR. Lip reset mask. This is in Vanilla Veil, so like obviously. Ooh, that is like real nice and thick and melty. It smells so good. Oh my gosh, I love it. Wow, it's like thicker than Laneige, I think, and more of an intense vanilla smell, but in a good way. Yum. I will say that I've had to really reevaluate the way that I work. I feel like I've said that before, and I definitely have done that before, but I've had to do that again as my life has changed and I am now dating somebody because I did not have time for that in my life. The last time I feel like I did kind of an overhaul with my relationship with work was when I moved back from Chicago. At that point, I mean, you guys know, like just was unwell in life. I was working 24/7. And I remember telling my friends, like, my job is manageable as long as I don't have any major plans over the weekend and I don't have any trips and there's nothing that's taking up too much of my time. Like, I can manage to go to a dinner and then like hang out with somebody. So like I can have a couple of plans on the weekend, but that's the only way that my job is manageable. If I pretty much have most of the weekend to be able to work, and then obviously the work week as well. And that's not healthy at all. And I think it took me going through what I went through with my major health scare to realize that. So I definitely put in a lot of effort to change the way that I was working at that point, and that's when I got Elsie. So I started really trying to do more things for myself that were going to fill my cup up outside of work. Brand new Amicole powder. Let's rip her open. It's gonna be satisfying. Or is it? Okay, I cannot. I don't want to break a nail. That just spilled all over me. So since that point, things have just slowly but surely improved with time as I have figured out how to do that. But even still, the way that I was living my life was very much as a single person who does not have room for anyone else in it. I was going to bed around 8:30 every night. I was waking up at 5 every single morning. I rarely stayed up late on the weekends because it would just throw off that sleep schedule. As you can imagine, like living a grandma lifestyle like that, you don't have room to have a midnight or a 1 a.m. night on the weekend. And that definitely served me well for that period of my life. But as I started dating my boyfriend, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to change things up again if I want to make room for somebody else in my life, which I did because I found somebody really great. And I'll talk about him in a second. But anyway, I just say all of that to say, you know, my relationship with work is constantly changing. And even though I had gotten it to a point where it felt very manageable, I soon realized that in dating somebody new, it was no longer manageable again because I had kind of like built my life around the way that it was at that point, which was great for then, but was not working anymore. I have been wanting to try the Fenty bronzer forever, specifically in the lightest shade, because I remember seeing a Kelly Gooch video like forever ago now, where she was saying that this is one of the few bronzers that does not look orange on her fair skin. And I do have a little bit of residual self-tan on right now, but I feel like it'll still be a good shade. Yes. it is. I got a lot of questions about my workout routine, how I maintain my physique, and I cannot remember for the life of me if I talked about that in a recent video because I've been asked that so many times. So if I did, forgive me. But I did just start a new workout regimen. I will list it below. I purchased a guide from this trainer who has a lot of different training programs and has worked with so many clients over the years. And it was perfect timing because I just felt like I was in a rut with my workout routine, and already for only doing that for a week and a half, my body feels sore in a way that it hasn't in so long. I'm already feeling better and excited about it. And it's not really any different in terms of the number of days per week that I work out or like the types of workouts that I do, because I'm still weight training and still working out about the same number of times per week. But now this program, I feel, is allowing me to actually be more strategic and actually work out in a way that's more effective. So for those of you that have been asking questions about how I maintain my physique, genetics are a huge part. I have to acknowledge that. I, growing up, was a string bean. My freshman year of high school, I was 5'9" and 115 pounds. Just for a visual, I obviously filled out quite a bit as I got older, thank God. But having a toned, muscular looking body is not something that I'm genetically blessed with. So weightlifting has been really incredible for me in helping to develop that. This bronzer is beautiful. Thanks, Kelly. And I do try to eat as healthy as I can. I would say I'm like healthy 80% of the time. All right, let's get into it. I'm sure most of you have fast forwarded to this part of the video anyway, because that is the only reason you clicked on it, and that's fair. 95% of the questions that I got were about this photo that I posted. So to the person who asked, who's this man's? This is my boyfriend. His name is Ryan, and we met on Hinge. We sure did. So after I passed my trichology exam, I did re-download Hinge, but I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't. I've been super open with you guys just about how dating has been at this stage in my life and what that looks like, and it hasn't been super active, I will say that, because I hate Hinge. I've hated it the entire time that I used it. I just always felt like it was the biggest waste of time to sit there and scroll through people to like hopefully find somebody that you find cute once every hour. I hated wasting my time on that app, so I rarely did. I rarely matched with people, which means that it was even more rare for me to match with somebody and then message somebody and then actually end up going on a date with someone. Like, I went on very few Hinge dates in the last couple of years, but I also know that so many people have found their significant other through Hinge. Two of my close friends are married / engaged to people from Hinge. So it's not like I was like, oh my God, I'll never find someone on here. I just was very, very, very picky about the way that I spent my time with Hinge. Like, I didn't want it to feel like it was taking away from my life. So I re-downloaded Hinge, and right away I saw that I had a like from Ryan in my likes because he had actually sent me one before I deleted the app back in November. So it was still sitting there and I had never seen it before because, like I said, I just wasn't using it at that time. And I let him sit in my likes for a while because I was like, he's so cute, but why do I have a feeling that he's not actually 6 feet tall? Those of you that have gone on Hinge dates know exactly what I'm talking about. So many guys, I feel like, lie about their height, and while that's not the end of the world, when you're 5'10", I mean, it matters a little bit more when someone says that they're 6 feet tall, but they're actually 5'9". So I let that sit there for a few weeks. But I finally was like, okay, well, maybe he actually really is 6 feet tall. He's so cute. So I'll just match with him and we'll see. And I think he said something like, I love your eyes, or like, you have pretty eyes, or something like that. Sorry, babe, don't get mad at me. But then immediately was like, I'd love to take you out, want to get drinks, or something like that. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I hate the small talk. Like, it's so weird to be like, so how's your day, stranger? I would so much rather just immediately go get drinks with somebody if there is an attraction, of course, and then just see from that first interaction if there's chemistry, instead of like, I don't know. I feel like you kind of start to create an idea of who somebody is and how they talk and how they act when you message for a while before you even meet. So I don't want to meet somebody and be confused because they didn't match what I thought they would, you know what I mean? So that was like the biggest breath of fresh air. And if you are a Minnesotan and you know some of the spots around here, we went to Flora Room for our first date, which is the new Marvel bar Marvel Bar was like a speakeasy that was really popular several years ago, but I think during COVID it closed. And so there's now a new owner of that space, and it's called Flora Room. It was a really cute spot. And I walked in and was like, okay, he's so cute. Let's see what happens when he stands up. And thank God he was in fact 6 feet tall and not 5'9". And I feel like there's gonna be a couple people who get mad at me for saying that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dating somebody who's shorter than you, but in my experience, it has always just created a really weird dynamic, so I'd rather not. Pausing quickly to apply mascara off camera, well, still on camera, but separate from this video, because I'm working on my tubing mascara showdown, so I need to get footage for this. It is the Velour Pretty Big Deal Peptide and Tubing Mascara, and you'll hear my initial thoughts in 3, 2. Okay, never mind on the velour. I have not seen a wand that looks that nasty and clumpy in the longest time. I was not about to ruin my entire makeup look with that. So I ended up testing out the Merit Tubing Mascara instead, and I think it is so pretty. All right, back to business. So he passed the height test. The date location was great. The date itself was interesting. He just asked so many questions, and that's fine, but I was having a hard time tracking where the questions were coming from. From my perspective, the questions were coming out of left field. It was like, what kind of toothpaste do you use? Do you use Crest or Colgate? Do you like to sing karaoke? Like, he's gonna kill me. It was very that, and like, we'd be talking about something and in would fly this random question that felt like it had nothing to do with anything that we were talking about. So I was like, what's going on here? And I literally looked at him and was like, are you always like this, or are you just really nervous? And he was like, I think I'm like a healthy amount of nervous. So I was just trying to figure out, like, yeah, is he just super nervous? Is he just like this all the time, where he's just like bouncing back and forth with random questions? Like, I just was feeling a little bit confused. This blush is stunning, by the way. This is a blush from, what's it from? Ooh, how do you pronounce this brand? Apu? Oh God. I got it on Yes Style. It's an Asian beauty brand. This is their Juicy Pang blush. Look at this. It's like a subtler version of my blush lighter obsession. That is so pretty. So I feel like I was thrown for a little bit of a loop just because I was like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I was super attracted to him, so that was not a concern, which has definitely been an issue with people I've gone on dates with in the past. And I feel like through that, I was able to still pick up on things that like I could tell I really liked about him, and things that like I could read just like about the type of person he is. The important stuff. Like, for example, when I first walked in, I think I was like 15 minutes late, and by then he had already become buddies with the bartender. Like, I could just tell he was really social and a people person, and just like had a good personality in that way, and just was somebody that seemed like comfortable in their own skin and had an easy time connecting with people in that way. Just maybe not me on our first date. And I could also tell that his family and friends meant a lot to him, which is something that is definitely important to me. I really loved how motivated he was. He actually owns his own business with his dad and brother called Kelly Enterprise, for anybody that needs new windows or doors in Minnesota. Little plug to make up for the story I told. So yeah, I love seeing that, like the drive and motivation for his work. So through the confusing Crest or Colgate questions, I feel like I was able to still pick up on enough about his character that made me still interested in a second date. So when I left, he was like, okay, well, here, like, you have my number, so how about you just text me if you're interested in seeing me again, or something along those lines, which made me feel bad, because I was like, oh my God, can he tell that I was like, what is going on? But like I said, I was still interested enough and intrigued, and was like, he's so cute, I have to text him. So I texted him the next day, and then we set up plans to do something, I think just like a few days later. And for the second date, he had picked a spot that was over by where he lives, and I'm about 20 minutes from where he lives. And he offered to come pick me up, which I thought was really sweet, but I was like, oh God, I don't know, like, what if it's super weird and like the vibes are off, and then I'm stuck in the car with him that entire time, and like then have to go in and sit down with him. Like, I can't be like, hey, by the way, this is really awkward, I'm gonna go. But I was like, maybe that'll be a good thing, because it'll kind of just like take some of the pressure off. I feel like a car ride is a nice way to kind of like alleviate some of that awkward weirdness that can happen when you're like walking in to meet to this place. I don't know. Going on the first few dates can be so weird. So I did let him come pick me up, and basically immediately in the car, I was like, oh, thank God. Because it was totally normal. He wasn't asking any of the like all over the place questions. It just flowed so well, and like we had great chemistry from that second on. So we now look back and joke about the first date because it was not at all an accurate picture of how we would eventually interact with each other. Like, not at all. So for those of you that messaged me saying you were feeling really discouraged about dating and wanted my advice, maybe that can be some inspiration for you to give some of those first dates that don't go picture perfect another shot, because it takes time for two people to like warm up to each other, myself included. I obviously wasn't like the exact same way on the first date that I am now. And you're not always going to have a first date that like hits so well right away that you can just tell like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I feel like you often hear stories about people going on a first date and just immediately knowing that that was going to be their person. But I don't think that that is always the most realistic thing, especially in the way that we're dating now. Like with dating apps and when you're going on a date with a stranger, that's probably not gonna happen. It might, like, I know that that does happen to some people, but I don't think it's as common as you're led to believe when you're single. So unless someone is like awful on the first date and full of red flags, I think you should always give someone a second date so that you both have a chance to like have loosened up a little and have those nerves go away and actually be able to fully act like your real self. So the second date went great. We ended up going to one spot first and then ended at Astor Cafe. If again, you're from Minnesota, and they were playing live music and it was just like really cute and romantic. And that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I have a big fat crush on this guy. And then he drove me home to drop me off and kissed me in the driveway, and it was really cute. And then I went up to my door and my sister Libby had been home watching Elsie, and Elsie ran out to say hi to me, and she was so excited because I think we were on that date for a while. It was like a 4 or 5 hour date. So I hear him behind me like walking up like, can I say hi to your dog? And I'm like, oh, of course. And Libby was walking by, like had been walking into my kitchen, but heard him say that and just froze. She's like, I didn't know what to do. I panicked. Like I wasn't sure if he was gonna try and have some like moment on the front step and try to kiss you goodnight. Like I panicked. And so I saw her do that and just be like, oh my God. And I was like, it's fine. So they ended up really briefly saying hi, but afterwards she's like, oh my God, I looked like this troll. I am humiliated. But then he left and she was like, oh my God, Abby, he is fine. I was like, girl, I know. And things have basically been smooth sailing ever since then, which is how they should be. I am obviously super happy. He really is the best. I know a lot of people wanted to know what Elsie thought about him. A lot of you were really concerned and were like, this is the most important thing. And Elsie loves him. I'll show you guys some pictures of them. Oh my God, it's so cute. It melts my heart. So there is the highly requested story of who that man's is and how I met my boyfriend. I'm actually leaving in 2 days to go visit him in Naples, Florida, because his company has 2 different locations here in Minnesota and then in Naples. So I'm super excited about that. I've never been there before. We're gonna just have a long Naples weekend, do like beach things, whatever you do in Naples. I've heard it's beautiful, so I cannot wait. All right, that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today. If you would like to see more videos like this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click on that notification bell, and send my channel to a friend. All of those things really help to support me and my channel, so thank you so much for your support in doing that. Thank you for watching my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one because that will be up in a few days. But until then, I hope you have a great few days.